Greetings to everyone. Renee Box Young going live today, but I'm going live for something different. We're gonna have, I want to talk about something different today. Something really special to me. You know what I'm saying? And I want to share it with you guys. You know what I mean? Because you guys are family. You guys are community, and I definitely want to share it with you guys. Each and every one of you, those who tune in. Those who tune in afterwards, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Who have been tuning into the lives, tuning into the program, the shows, right? The shows that I been posting up, the content I've been posting up on my channel, man. I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you guys are doing great today. I hope everyone's having a great Sunday. And like I said, I want to talk about something special today, something different, um, something special. That really it touches me deep down inside. As you guys can see in the thumbnail that I posted up the other day, I think it was, I don't remember when it was. I think it was a couple days ago. I posted something up, as far as what I want to talk about today in this show in particular. And like I said, man, it hits deep down, man. It hits deep down because it's more than, to me personally, man. It's more than just a show. It's as far as what I want to talk about. And like I said in the thumbnail, you guys probably checked it out. If you didn't, okay, it's specifically about the 30th reunion, 30th anniversary, man, of Fresh Prince of Bel Air. Wow, something so special, man. And the thing here is that I just want to start out like this, man. And one of the reasons why this, just the episode of Fresh Prince of Bel Air, it's not about boxing, and that's why I put the thumbnail a couple days ago. Hopefully, we'll get Curtis in a moment. But because he knows about it too. He's seen it. And the thing here is that this program in particular, this episode has, the sitcom, it has impacted so many lives, man. It's been such a, powerful show, because of what it brings, because of what the show brings. Will Smith, all the other actors. I really don't even remember their original names. I'm so used to, just the Fresh Prince and the actors' names, as far as the characters. I don't recall their real names. I know Alfonso. Alfonso is who plays Carlton. Janet, who plays the first Aunt Viv. You know what I mean? And so I really don't know James Avery, who plays Uncle Phil, right? Will Smith's uncle, and Carlton's, Hillary's, and Ashley's father, right? And Aunt Viv. I don't really remember like the rest of the actors like real names, like Jeffrey. I don't remember his real name. I don't know his real name in like real life. But this is something really special to me because like I said, this program, man, it speaks a lot of truths. It shows a lot of truths, in the episodes, underlying truths that come out in a comical fashion, like many other shows, right? But for some reason, just this whole Fresh Prince of Bel Air, really, I just fell in love with it ever since I was a youngster. You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of people relate to that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, I don't, I would say around the world, but mainly in the States. You know what I'm saying? In America, a lot of people relate to it because of the culture. The background, the culture. A family. A kid from the hood, from the ghetto, right? Coming out from there, Philadelphia, and being sent, to Bel Air, by his mom so he can, shape up. And the thing here is that this is kind of like a like an introduction. I want to talk about what I want to talk about, and then we'll get specifically to the 30th, to the reunion and 30th anniversary reunion. And a lot of people relate to this stuff because a lot of people grew up like that. A lot of people grew up in what it is, a ghetto and inner city youth or what have you background. And I personally related to that. What I'm saying? I related a lot to Will Smith and as a character, in that program, Fresh Prince. And that's why a lot of people were impacted by that program. What I'm saying? By that episode, the episodes, the series, the seasons. If I'm not mistaken, it was 6 seasons. And year after year, episode after episode, I would remember going home from school and watching it, man. And man, and it was funny, and I related to the certain characters in the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. I related to certain characters, and now I've been actually I started to watch it again on Netflix. As a matter of fact, I started watching, all the episodes or most of them at least, and man, felt like it would be the first time watching it again. You know what I'm saying? Because I have stopped watching it, for years. I started just, studying, living that work life or whatever. You guys know how it is. Sometimes there isn't much time to see things like that. And I started watching it maybe a year ago or maybe less on Netflix. Man, I went back and I started watching the programming. Those episodes, and it felt like it was the first time watching it over again. You know what I'm saying? And the thing here is that, this is why I'm saying it's special to me. And I know it's special to a lot of people, a lot of people who have seen it. I don't know how many millions of people or whatever, right, throughout the years and decades, but it impacted so many people, you know what I'm saying, that show, you know what I'm saying? And when I went back and watched it, it's really, really, it brings back like nostalgia. That's the word. Very nostalgic. It brings me back to when I was a teen watching that, program, laughing and just seeing the shows. You know what I'm saying? And there were some episodes, man, that were very dramatic. You know what I'm saying? Some episodes that were very emotional. And I want to touch up upon that a little bit. In this show dedicated just to that, man. It's just to the the memorandum, whatever we want to call it. Of Fresh Prince, man, and specifically the reunion. I mean, it was an amazing show. I don't know if you guys saw it. I think it was aired on HBO Max, if I'm not mistaken. Just such an amazing, man, show or reunion of the actors, the original actors and characters of the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, man. But before I get to that, what I'm saying, I just want to give an outline, kind of a foundation, like I'm saying. And for me personally, throughout the years, when I started watching that program back in the 90s, man, early 90s, and as everybody else have seen it, has seen it, I think the community, as far as the community that tunes into my channel and stuff, are around that age. You know what I'm saying? They're around, they were around teenage, around the 90s, the decade of the 90s. So, or maybe a little older, right? So me personally, when I started watching that program and that show, I was around 14 years old or something like that. Early, I don't know. I remember 14, 13 years old when I started watching The Fresh Prince of Bel Air when it was airing, on television there. What's up going on, Briscoes? Yeah, I'm doing something different, Briscoes. Doing something really different. I left it in the thumbnail a couple days ago. Hopefully we'll get Kurtis in a moment so he can get his input on this, concerning the topic. It's just about, bro, it's not about boxing or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? It's about, remembering, Fresh Prince of Bel Air, and they just had a reunion, man, a 30-year anniversary reunion. It was so impacting, bro. I don't know if you saw it. I think it was aired, like I was saying, on HBO Max. I don't know how they're going to go about doing it. Will Smith obviously has a channel on YouTube. He had a trailer on there. He has a trailer on the reunion concerning the Fresh Prince reunion. Platforms are talking about it, television networks or whatever programs, they're talking about it, the reunion. It was so impacting, man. It was so impacting and touching. And, before we specifically get to describing that 30-year anniversary reunion, with the original, actors of the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, before I get to that specific show, which was like an hour and 25 minutes or something. I don't remember how long it was, but it was more than an hour. And like I said, man, I recently, with no idea of the anniversary or anything of the reunion, I don't even know, but I recently started going back to watching Fresh Prince. As a matter of fact, on my Instagram account, I put some photos, of me watching it, eating some hamburgers or whatever, right? Just enjoying the night, you know what I'm saying? So I recently went back. I don't remember how long ago, like maybe 6 months ago, I started watching Fresh Prince of Bel Air, or even sooner than that. I don't remember, but just, recently I started watching. What's going on, Dre Finest? What's going on, bro? Like I said, bro, this is a different show today. Okay, I just want to focus on the Fresh Prince anniversary. Thanks so much for jumping in, Dre Finest, Bruce Goes, and y'all can comment. Go ahead and comment about it. You know what I'm saying? Of the specific episodes that really impacted you guys when you guys grew up, watching the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. I'm sure you guys did. So many people did, and so many people. That's why I made this. That's why I want to do this show. So many people relate to that show, man. So many people relate to the episodes and the plot, and the storylines that Fresh Prince brought. You know what I'm saying? Will Smith and the whole cast. I mean, amazing storylines, amazing situations and plots in the episodes, and we all relate. And getting back to what I was saying, that I recently started watching it, Fresh Prince on Netflix about a few months ago. And and I chopped it up with Kurt a little bit. I called him up some time ago recently, and I think yeah, Kurt's getting ready. Cool. So we'll be getting Kurt in a moment, hopefully. Yeah. And I want to specifically talk about Kurt because I talked to him about this, not specifically about talking about Fresh Prince or anything, but I called him a couple weeks ago. I think it was a couple weeks ago. I talked to Kurt, the historian. Y'all know who it is, our family right there, and he talks about everything, what I'm saying? He knows so much about everything, not just boxing, what I'm saying? Music, everything, and so rich in knowledge in these things. And, I was planning, check this out, guys. I was planning on doing something with Kurt. I have a little, I guess you'd call it project or whatever, right? Just, I had some ideas. And before I called up Kurt, and I was thinking of, making some shows, different shows dedicated to like movies, what I'm saying? Obviously, you already know the platform here is for boxing mainly, but also, you guys, the community, I know you guys, watch other things than just boxing. You know what I'm saying? I know you guys do other things for entertainment, free time, whatever, and watch movies, episodes, sitcoms, TV, and I chopped it up with Kurt, recently. And I said, I'm thinking about making a show making a show or a couple shows, dedicated to like movies, what I'm saying? And I was waiting for the right time because Kurt, he was down for it, man, thankfully, and he's up for it. He loves to watch movies. I don't know if you guys heard, Kurt, he would say in other shows, what I'm saying? I think on Blue Blood or something like that, or I heard him say time and time again. I've heard Kurt say that he's a movie buff. Or sometimes I would call him, and I'd say, hey, what are you doing, Kurt? How you doing? And he would say, oh, I'm sitting here watching a movie. I'm a big movie buff, man. So, he watches movies, and I know you guys do. I'm sure you guys do, watch movies back in the day. Does that really impact you? And that's the thing. And that's why I had this in my mind. That's why I had this in my heart. That's why I called Kurt about it. You know what I'm saying? And I was waiting for the right time to see what we were going to talk about. I already had some things in my mind. I was brainstorming, waiting, the days went by. And I was just waiting for the right time. And boom, all of a sudden, check this out, guys. All of a sudden, this reunion comes out from Will Smith, the original cast of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I was like, bam, this is it. This is it. I called up Kurt. I was like, bro, check this out, and, I don't know if you guys saw it, man. Please let me know in the comment section. Did you guys see the reunion that the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air cast had? I think it was on HBO Max. And that's the thing, back what I was saying, that I don't know if like how they're going to go about, if they're going to replay it, they're going to repeat it on HBO Max, or if they're going to, publish it in Netflix. But it's a must see, ladies and gentlemen. Please, if you guys grew up watching, throughout the years, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, you have to please, I got to put an exclamation point on this, mark or whatever, punctuation mark, right? Exclamation, that you have to see the 30-year anniversary reunion, right? The reunion of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It was so impacting, man. Now, please, check this out. One of the reasons that you got to see it because one, if you grew up watching it, you're gonna really relate. It's so intimate, man. That reunion. Two, is because the way that Will Smith, I'm almost positive it was Will Smith who produced it all. He directed it. If I'm not mistaken, he's a director in movies and stuff. Now, apart from being an actor, he directs movies and stuff of that nature. I really don't know the details. I'm not too, I don't follow him too much. I mean, the most I followed Will Smith was in, Fresh Prince in those times. You know what I'm saying? Recently with some movies, yeah, but mostly, back in the day. So, but the reason why I say this is because the way that the reunion show, okay, on HBO Max, I think it was like more than an hour long. The reason why you got to see it is because the way it was, oh my gosh, the way it was edited, the way it was, oh my gosh. Okay, so it starts out like this, okay? It starts out like this. LeVar Cooper, what's going on, family? What is going on? Oh, okay, Jerry Finest, you didn't see it? Okay. Bruce Ghost says, I used to do other stuff. Now I'm on YouTube all day. Oh, okay. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, but okay, so Jerry Finest says, oh, you weren't? Wow. You weren't a big fan of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but I remember the show. Okay. I used to do other stuff, and then Bruce Ghost says here, yeah, now I'm on YouTube all day. Right. So no, I feel you, man. It's all good. So interesting, Jay Finest. I didn't know that, man. I didn't know that. Yeah, and other people did grow up on it. You know what I'm saying? But even if you didn't, even if you do just remember the show, it's really worth watching that reunion, man. It was so. LeVar Cooper's in the building. Thanks so much, man, for jumping in. Thank you guys for jumping in, man. Hopefully Kurt he's getting ready, like to jump in, and we're gonna talk about this. But getting back to what I was saying, man, I mean, the way that the reunion was just edited, the way it was brought about, the way they did it, oh my gosh, man. Now, let me get back to what I was saying. one of the reasons why this show in general, I'm talking about Fresh Prince of Bel Air, just that, not the reunion. Okay, I want to start with this. One of the reasons why it's so special to me is, like I said a moment ago, I related to the characters, mostly at that time. Check this out. Mostly at the time of me when I watched Fresh Prince of Bel Air, when I was young, when I was a young teen, man, I really related to Will more because, Will was the character where, he got out of Philly. His mom sent him from Philly because, obviously, the introduction. So, and West Philadelphia, born and raised, he got in a little fight, right? That was a storyline that he got in a little fight. He got in problems. He was in the hood, just, having problems in the hood. You know what I'm saying? He was with the homies and stuff like that. And his mom sent him to Bel Air, right? And with the rich family, rich context, beautiful, surroundings, rich neighborhood, et cetera, with his uncle as a, prestigious, successful lawyer who soon became a judge, got promoted to being a judge, Supreme Court judge in the District of LA, I think, if I'm not mistaken, of Los Angeles or Bel Air or what have you. I think it was in LA.
Can you hear me? I can't hear you.
Yeah, can you hear me, Kurt? Check 1 2.
Oh, yeah, now I can hear you.
Okay, right on. Yeah, it's had a little issue there. Okay, you got me.
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Awesome, Kurt. First and foremost, how you doing, bro?
Well, better now. I'll tell you behind the scenes what happened, but I'm doing pretty good.
Oh, okay. You good though today, man? You good? You good?
Yeah, yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay.
Oh, awesome. Okay, yeah. We'll talk after this, bro. Definitely, man. Definitely. So, like I was saying, bro, I thank you so much, Kurt, for jumping because look, the reason why, Kurt, this did you I don't know if you saw the reunion, but just in general, you know what I'm saying? For me, like the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, it's a really special show to me, man. I mean, apart from like the comical side of that show, it's really special to me, because I really relate, I really relate to the characters. That's what I was saying a moment ago right now. First and foremost, bro, Kurt, I just want to ask you, I already asked you when I called you the other day, what have you seen the Fresh Prince, and what's your overall impression and opinion of the Fresh Prince of Bel Air? The whole show, the episodes, the seasons. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I love the show. Will Smith was a very popular rapper before he got the show. I believe there was some people who didn't want to cast him as the lead. I remember that controversy. Quincy Jones had something to do with it. Not wanting him to be the lead. I vaguely remember. So the show was on trial, meaning that the people was going to judge it whether it was good or not. And right away, you had a different assortment of characters. You had the Dippy daughter, who was very funny, very underrated. Her real name was Karen Parsons. She played the Dippy daughter really good, the dingy daughter, I would say. And then you had the square Alfonso Ribeiro. his cousin. You had Will, who brought the Philly flavor to the West Coast, and you had the successful lawyer, his uncle. It was a great show. They had a lot of hidden messages and not so hidden. Like my favorite episode was when they borrowed his uncle's Mercedes Benz, and the cops locked him up. And way before this whole racial thing exploded, this was back, when they was talking about it. And they was locked up because the cops thought they stole the Mercedes Benz, and you know, what's his name? Alfonso Ribeiro,
Oh,
his cousin,
Carlton.
Carlton Banks. Yeah, Carlton was so naive. Said we was driving too slow. And Will was like, no, it wasn't that. It wasn't, so it was a great show, man, but it was very funny. The butler, he was hilarious as well. And I like the dialogue, the storylines. It was a very good series. And like I said, I'm a movie buff. I'm a series buff. Like I like Sopranos. I like The Wire. I like Dexter, who they bring it back. Surprisingly, Showtime is bringing Dexter back. I don't know if you ever watched Dexter, but it was a great series, man. But and I like old movies like the Seven Ups with Roy Scheider. That's the actor who played in Jaws as the hero. I like the French Connection. These are like early '70s movies, classics. The Marathon Man with Dustin Hoffman and Midnight Cowboy and the Clockwork Orange. These are movies you may not know, but they're classics. I mean, classics. These are in my top 10. The Munich came out 2005. It was just on HBO the other day, about the killing of Jew athletes. It was a great movie. I believe that was still Steven Spielberg, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm.
My favorite horror movie is The Thing, with Kurt Russell, masterpiece. But getting back to the Fresh Prince, we all liked it. The people in the neighborhood, we used to run in the house and watch it, and the ratings was high. It had a little run. They did pretty good. Like I said, the characters, when Will burned down the kitchen, and to me, the daughter really made it, man. She was like so funny, her being dingy and all and privileged. She didn't know, she
Oh,
didn't know too
you're talking
much.
about Hillary, right?
Hillary, right. There you go, Hillary. She was very funny, man. So I love the show. It worked because when you have a successful comedy series like Friends or The King from Queens, if the star or the people around him doesn't have an engaging personality, the show is not going to work. But
Mm.
the show worked because of all the crazy personalities that was around Will Smith.
Definitely, man, definitely. And for me, let's just get into this, man. This is good stuff right here, man. And like I said right before Kurt came on, that exactly, he's a movie buff. He said it time and time again, on these kinds of watching sitcoms and episodes, man. And for me, man, like this one in particular, and obviously other programs and shows and stuff like that. That's why I had that with you, Kurt. Talk to you about it. Eventually, snowballing to a certain extent. What I'm saying, we'll just see how it goes, show by show. I wanted to do this, what I'm saying, have a show with you to talk about these kinds of things because for me, the entertainment, aspect of life, watching movies, watching, sitcoms and episodes, I always try to take something that will, build me up. I always try to take something that I will learn from, what I'm saying, learn off of. And Fresh Prince was one of those. I mean, I have other ones, what I'm saying, but right now I want to focus on this because of the reunion they just had. And, this it made me realize when I looked at this, when I watched this reunion, this and Hillary said it. I don't remember her original name, but I just remember them by their character names. Hillary, she said that this has, impacted this show, this episode series and stuff. It has impacted millions around the world. You know what I'm saying? It's just because a lot of people relate to it. A lot of people have learned from it. You know what I'm saying? And just like what you said, it's interesting you say it, Kurt, because Will in the reunion program that they just had, he said that it speaks to generations. I'm paraphrasing what he said, but it speaks to generations and generations because before it was maybe a big problem, like you just said a moment ago, that specific show where Carlton and Will get pulled over, and it was funny. I remember it by memory. I remember it by heart, man. Where the cop gets before the cop gets to the driver's side window, Will Smith, hey. Carlton, whatever you do, don't take your hands off the steering wheel. And then the cop comes, and then Carlton, right, sticks out his hand, to shake the officer's hand. Yeah, hello, how you doing this fine evening? And then the cop says, put your hands on the steering wheel. And Will's like shaking his head like, oh my gosh. And then after, they talks about the ID identification, whatever. And then Will Smith says, get out of the car, Carlton. And then Carlton's like, you're crazy, Will. He's not going to ask to get out of the car. And then the cop says, get out of the car. you know. But the reason
Right,
why I say
right.
is because Will said in the reunion, check this out. He said, they were like, it was just amazing how they edited it, the reunion, how they do it, how they did it. There was a part where, before I get to this part, but there were parts where in this reunion, it was on HBO Max, where they were sitting like on a chair and they would speak individually about certain things they thought about the show and their experiences and blah blah blah. And Will Smith was talking about how, and what you said, Kurt, right now, how the shows, the episodes gave underlying cultural truths. And just like what you said, in a comedic, in a comedian fashion, where it was funny, but at the same time, it was true. There was also another episode. Remember, I don't know if you remember, Kurt, where it was something, I just forgot why they were in court. I think it was because of Hillary's boyfriend was a lawyer, and yeah, at that time, Will had a car. He got a car. They called it the Rat Mobile, the Rat Mobile. Yeah, they couldn't take it out because he didn't have insurance. So the point is here is Hillary got a new boyfriend or whatever, some lawyer student or something, law student, and they crashed. And they went to court, and Jazz, as a witness, he was there, whatever, and he went to testify. I think Philip Banks called Jazz to testify, to be as a witness. And the officer goes there, gets the Bible out and says, or something like that, right? And Jazz had his arms up. This is what I'm talking about, is the cultural underlying truths that Will was talking about in the reunion. The show was so impacting that it spoke truths, but in a funny way. Jazz had his arms up, and then and then I think it was Uncle Phil. He said, you could put your arms down, Jazz. He's all, no way. If I do that, next thing I know, I'm gonna have 6 bullet shots behind me. You know what I'm saying? And it was funny, but like you said, at the same time, it had truths to it. You know what I'm saying, Kurt? And did you notice that too? Like at the time when you were watching it back in the day, did you notice that, Kurt, that it was speaking like truths of society, but in a funny way?
Oh, absolutely. It had a twist. It was a comedy series, but with a lot of serious messages. Like I said, talked about, the cops thought they stole a car. They had one episode when they thought Carlton was not cool enough to join a fraternity, and they was calling him square. And the uncle said, Uncle Phil saying, we keep doing this to ourselves. So it was a lot of messages in there, but at the same time, it was funny. They just wanted to let you know what was going on in the world, but kept you laughing. And it did that with me. And I saw the reunion parts of it, and the reunion with Will Smith and the actress, the first mother, got her,
Oh,
Hubert.
Janet. Yeah.
Yeah, Janet Huber. And because she was a great actor, she's a theater actress, they call it. She graduated from Juilliard, and Will Smith didn't like her for whatever reason, so they made up for 25 years or 30 years of
Right.
misery, man. Will Smith had a lot of influence, and he was saying how young he was and sorry, and but she lost out, on a lot of gigs because of that. And she was saying that, she brung it up. She didn't sugarcoat anything. She was saying how, you went forward, meaning you had success. At one time, Will Smith was one of the biggest, if not the biggest movie star in the world with
Yep.
his movies. And
Yep.
some of them I didn't care for,
Right.
but and she suffered because they thought she was bad to work with, and that's a death sentence for an actress, especially a black actress, you telling people she's difficult to work with, and she was basically blacklisted because of Will Smith, and so they made peace, and I wouldn't be surprised if he gave her a little something on the side to, because he's wealthy, and just to say, look, I'm sorry, I was 21. That's what he was saying. Basically, I was young and stupid, didn't know, but she was a very good actress. She was a theater actress, classically trained. She was a very good singer as well. I heard her sing, so that was touching. There's a lot of classic series, man, comedy. Like All in the Family and Jeffersons that I watch a lot. And but those shows like Different World, and I don't really watch the Cosby Show that much because of personal reasons. But um, Fresh Prince of Bel Air is a classic episode, man, and I was just glad it was on TV and it was very, very successful.
Now that you jump to that, with Janet, let's talk about that, because that was one of my points I wanted to talk about, right? Like I said, I always do these organic, these lives, organic, especially when I have guests. I go off of what you guys say and we just keep going. You know what I'm saying? It's good stuff. You know what? I want to take a break real fast and let you guys know Cheap O Dad is in the building, man. Cheap O Dad, let me tell you guys something. Cheap O Dad is one of my childhood friends. Go subscribe to him, because look, you guys, his channel you guys will benefit from, because he gives amazing, that's why he's called Cheapo Dad. He's one of my childhood friends, man. He just bumped up his YouTube channel. He just brought it, he's building on it, you know what I'm saying? And the reason why I say you guys are going to benefit off of it, and I got plans with my bro. I got plans for my bro Cheapo Dad, because he has great tips for you guys, for everybody here to apply in life. You got to go check out his channel, please, you guys. Great ways on how to save money. I mean, go, guys, go. He's an amazing realtor. He's one of my guys, man. He's one of my childhood friends. We grew up, man, together. So back in Arizona, man, I love him, man. I love him so much. And his family, his brother, everybody, he knows who I'm talking about. So go subscribe to Cheap O Dad, family, please, because he has, and like I said, you guys are going to benefit from what he says. He's such a smart guy, talented guy, and he talks about how you guys can save money. I mean, who doesn't want to save money? You know what I'm saying? He's a really frugal guy, really intelligent, really smart, and he gives tips and tricks on how to save money and how to get free deals and free food and et cetera, et cetera. Go check his channel out, man. I'm so glad he's here, man. Thanks so much, Cheapo Dad, man. Thanks so much, Naeem. Love you, bro. Love you, bro. So real quick, okay, so Kurt, we're talking about that. Okay, so the first Aunt Viv, when I first saw that program, when I first started watching Fresh Prince when I was young, I fell in love with Aunt Viv, the first one. I fell in love with her for the reasons you're saying, Kurt. She was such a great actor as a mother. Intelligent professor. She was an intelligent professor. She was a very loving mom. You know what I'm saying? How she showed care for the family. You know what I'm saying? Very strict though. She was level-headed, intelligent, smart, but she knew how to apply discipline when it was necessary. She knew how to discipline Will. She knew how to, she was just a great actor. And when they changed her, okay, when they changed her to the new Aunt Viv, after a few episodes or after a few seasons, a couple, like third, if I'm not mistaken, they changed her. And when I remember watching the change, I didn't know, technology back in those days, it wasn't you just go on Google and see what the problem was. Of course not. I didn't even know. Nobody knew. We just saw it was a new actor. And, one who watches TV constantly or whatever back in the day kind of knows that happens. It just happens. One series to the next, you're going to see another Carlton or whatever. So I didn't think of it as a big deal, but I did think of it as like, oh man, the original Aunt Viv's gone. Ah, man, who's this? But the second Aunt Viv did amazing too in their own ways. You know what I'm saying? But I want to get to that, Kurt. We'll talk about this. That with the whole feud, the years went by. Recently, when I started going back, like I said, I started going back to watching Fresh Prince a little over a year ago. I started seeing what the situation was exactly between, Janet and why did she leave? And it was like what you're saying that, when it was just amazing how Will, man, and the reunion he had in his heart to bring Janet, man, and to talk to her face to face and to iron out the problems, man. You know what I'm saying? To iron out and she explained that, at that time, her husband was out of work. She was pregnant. She was going through some really personal issues, big issues in her life, where it led her, when she would go on the set, not to talk to anybody and to be, quote unquote, as Will said, difficult. Like she was difficult to the cast and how she worked. because she was going through some issues. She didn't tell anybody about these issues, and Will, like you said, Kurt, being young, being immature, he didn't know how to, he was kind of, I guess, disrespecting her, and it led to her leaving. I want to say, and she said, Janet said that, it was misinterpreted or misconception that she was fired from Will or something. But one thing led to another where she just left. Okay, she just stopped working there, and like you said, it really impact. If you see her eyes, man, I mean, it really, you see her eyes. I don't know if you saw that, Kurt, right? When Will was talking to Janet, in the studio there in the reunion, that one-on-one interview, you see her eyes at the beginning. You can see the hurt in her eyes, man. It was an emotional thing, man. You know, and then they finally hugged. And I don't know if you noticed, Kurt, but when they were hugging, there was a scene there in that interview when they were hugging, and the volume went out, like they didn't you couldn't hear. They put some music on or something. She was saying, "You're my baby boy. You'll always be my baby boy." And I was like, my gosh. That's what I'm saying. These things, we just look at it as, oh, they're just actors. They're having a good laugh in the shows, and they're a family. They become a family, and we as viewers throughout the years, it seems like we're part of that. We relate to it because they go through, like you said, they go through situations in the episodes that we can all relate to. And this is why, for me personally, this show has impacted me so much throughout the years, and this specific reunion. Now, Kurt, real quick, what was one of your, okay, let me get to the chat real quick, then we're gonna get to that with Kurt. So Cheapo Dad says here, so true. Go ahead and share it, Naeem, bro. Go ahead and share it there in the chat if you want. What was that experience exactly, bro? You said so true. I've literally had an experience like that in my life. Go ahead and expound upon it, bro, if you want, right here in the chat, man. So LeVar Cooper says here, the episode of Ben Vereen, yeah, playing Will's dad, and he walked out of Will's life again. Oh my gosh, man.
Oof.
Uncle Phil had to console Will at the end of the show. I was in tears. Okay, now when I saw it the first time when I was a kid, I wasn't in tears, but it did impact me. It did. Now as an adult, as a full grown man, I went back and saw it. Like I said, I started watching the programs again. I was crying, dude. I mean, he had to console. My gosh, that was a powerful episode. Okay, Kurt, what do you think about that episode in particular, man?
Oh man, we always talking about it. We used to talk about the episodes, man. That hit hard. Every kid, regardless of race and age or rich or poor, can relate to that. Your dad walking out on you, and to make matters worse, he will be eradicated from your life, and then he will step in like he's going to be a dad again, and then he'll step right back out. It's like a big tease, and every kid can feel that. Fortunately, I had my father, but a lot of kids growing up didn't have their father around, and that's big. So even though his name was Uncle Phil, to Will, Uncle Phil was his father. That was the thing about it. He always took the reins when Will went through something. Uncle Phil was always there. So he was like Will Smith's dad. So that was a deep episode. That was one of the deepest episodes, almost at the end when Will started crying and tell him, he don't understand how a man can have a son and he's not there. I felt that one, man. I was like, wow, man, they really know what they was doing. The writers on the show was like really, really good because, like I said, even though it was a comedy show, they hit home with certain personal subjects, man, that people can relate to.
Yeah, and the lead up to that specific part was where, like you said, his dad came. Will was cleaning because at that time he was in college. He was in the university studying. Which one? UCLA or something like that. But he was there and he was cleaning. The lounge area where people would come and eat. And he saw there a guy, and he's like, "Hey, how you?" And then he said, "Would you like something?" I remember, and they said, "Yeah, no, I'm okay, son." And then he realized that's his dad, and then the lead up to, they went to the circus, because his dad was the truck driver, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm in town," and that's when he was spending time with him. And then they went to the circus. They were just having fun, and I remember they were in the circus. I mean, I didn't really recently watch this. It's just all picture memory, man. I remember all this, and then He was there playing, with his dad in the circus, playing basketball. Oh, when I was young, I used to do this. Oh, really? And then they were challenging tribal. And then a kid comes. Wow, he's good. He's like, yeah, that's my dad. It's just, and then, man, reason why I say this is because there was another impacting moment. It got me crying, man. I mean, call me soft or whatever, but it really hits home. I remember when they were in the kitchen. They were in the kitchen, and they got in an argument, Phil and Will, man, in the kitchen, and Aunt Viv was there, witnessing the whole argument. He's like, why are you going out with him, and why are you guys? Because they were going to go out on a trip or something like that, and Phil said, "You're not going anywhere," and he's like, and then just Will screams, man. He says, "Oh my God!" He says, "Yeah." He says, I don't remember exactly the words, but he ended with, "You are not my father, man." Oh my gosh. He's like, "You're not going to tell me what to do. You are not my father." And he just walks out. He just pushes those doors open. And, dude, that was acting. And that's what I'm trying to get here. Remember, Kurt? One of
I
the things
remember.
that, and one of the things that Will pointed out. This was a while ago. In one of Will's interviews, sometimes I like to watch, just to hear him interviews and just general interviews. He talked about how bad his acting was. Okay, this is what I would say. But he acted great in Fresh Prince of Bel Air. But he was criticizing one point in his acting career as a novice actor, I guess you could say, at that time. Like you said, he was a rapper before that with jazz, and he said that one of the things he really criticized and didn't like about him acting was that he would memorize the lines of everybody else's script. Yeah. And there were parts where he would be lip talking the lines of others during the recording. Okay. What's your general input, Kurt, on Will's acting performance in the series and Fresh Prince?
Well, he got better as the seasons went along. You could see the maturation of him as an actor. He was so at the beginning, but we didn't mind because we didn't look at that. We just looked at the script and the storyline and the dialogue. He did okay, but he got better as time went along. When you in a comedy series, I look at actor when I'm watching a drama series because it's dramatic, it's traumatizing, there's violence, there's serious subject matter, and there was serious subject matter on the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, but it was a comedy show, so nobody's asking you to win an Oscar or some kind of
True.
award when you're doing a comedy skit TV series. It's it's whatever. We just want the show to be funny,
Right.
and we want the show where we can like it and enjoy to watch it. Drama, that's a whole different story. He's a good actor because remember, he was in 6 Degrees of Separation, what I believe with Donald Pleasance, where that was a very good movie, and he had to be serious. That he was really good, playing the role of a deceiver in 6 Degrees of Separation. So, as experience, you get better with experience, and as the seasons went along, you could see the maturity of him as an actor.
Yeah, definitely, man. Thank you guys so much for jumping in. A condo, man. Thanks so much. Quee still got here in the building. Hodges, all you guys, man. Thank you guys so much for jumping in. And let me go here real quick. A condo, what he's saying. He's saying that episode reflected what Will Smith actually. Now, that's something I kind of thought that in his real life. I don't know, Kurt, if you can expound it because I really don't know. In his real life, he didn't have a dad like Will Smith.
No, he grew up really rough in Philadelphia. I don't think that was in his life. He was a very successful rapper. It's hard to believe that one time he was a rapper. He was a crossover guy who made crossover songs and turned into an actor with the series and became a very successful movie star. He wasn't a tough guy. You know how rappers put on a tough guy act. He wasn't
Right.
that. He was just the boy next door, and he didn't try to be tough. So that's why his career turned out like it did. He married another actress. Oh man, I'm forgetting so many things. I forgot her name, but
No problem.
he married her. He married her, and they had some problems or whatever, but they're still married. But for the most part, his career has been amazing, man. Like I said, he turned into this big old movie star. Movies like Hancock and My favorite movie, we played a doctor and he was fighting these. I wouldn't call them. They weren't uh, zombies. I forgot that. I'm forgetting so many
No, no
things.
problem.
Where he was in New York and they had to vacate the island of New York, and
Mm,
that was my favorite Will Smith movie. Now, a couple of them he made, like Gemini Man and Planet Earth. I really didn't care about them, but the point being, he made the transition from a rapper to a television star to a movie star, where you have people like David Caruso, who was in, and it's not easy because here's a guy, David Caruso, who was in NYPD Blue and very successful TV star, but couldn't make the transition to a movie star. He played in a couple of movies, uh, with Nicholas Cage, and it didn't really work out for him. So it's not easy to go from a TV star to a movie star, and Will Smith did that.
I think Qui's telling here. She said, "I am legend." Does that ring a bell, Kurt? Did you
Yeah,
just
yeah.
put that?
Thanks a lot, Quee. Thank you very much. I'm suffering from the Grandpa Simpson forget syndrome. I am legend. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, I like that movie a lot. That's my favorite Will Smith movie. I am legend. Thank you.
Actually, here a condo continues to say about the personal life with Will and Quiqui also. Let me read this real quick. It says a condo says his dad later on after Will's success came back into his life. Wow, but Will still kept him at arm's distance. Wow, and then Quiqui says here, Shaquita, she says Will's dad was in the army. Okay, was in the army and very mean and abusive to Will's mom. Wow, and the kids rough as hell, but he made it out. I mean that that's why I say this to me. Will Smith, and Fresh Prince of Bel Air, and just the whole. It really inspired me when I was a kid, when I was younger. Like you can make it out, you can do positive things in life. You know what I'm saying? And interesting. Okay, real quick. Cheapo out because I want to get to Kurt in a couple other aspects of this. Cheapo Dad says here, my guy Naeem right here, man. Like I said, go subscribe to him, guys. He has some great stuff. You guys are gonna benefit from him, definitely, from what his content gives. Go subscribe. This is my childhood friend right here. This is my brother right here, man. From kids. I love it. Man. He says here, oh yeah, because he said earlier when we were talking about how Fresh Prince has cultural truths, underlying cultural truths. That's what Will was talking about as far as like racism, cop brutality, stuff like that, right? He went through it, Cheapo Dad, man. You gotta go check him out, man. He says, and he said that he went through something like that. And here he says, here in this one of his experiences, he said, a cop followed me. Okay, cop followed me for 10 miles. Wow. Then pulled me over, gave me a really ridiculous sobriety test. Are you serious, man? Was that in Mesa, bro? Was that in Mesa, Arizona? Or was it a Tempe or something? And it says sobriety test for about 15 minutes, screaming their head off at me. What? Didn't believe that a kid like me could drive a Camaro. I don't remember I don't know if I was over there, Naeem, at that time when you had a Camaro. Was it black? I think it was when we were young, but I think it was, I wasn't there anymore, bro, and those times. But because I don't remember you having a Camaro, but I know you do remember when I had my think it was a Thunderbird I had, right? I think you were there. I was there. I don't remember you having a Camaro, but I think it was black, bro. But wow, you see, so I mean, time and time again, many people have gone through this. You know what I'm saying? Where cops, suspect you because you're of a different color skin, unfortunately. And that's what Will Smith said. And the reunion, he said, you know what? Our show brought many cultural truths. And to this day, unfortunately, they're still seen. These things like we're talking about cops, with racist cops or whatever, judging people for the skin of the color, color of the skin. So it's a sad thing, and Will Smith said, unfortunately, so it's crazy stuff, man. Now, Kurt, real quick, Kurt, you who can you relate to, like in that show, like which actor can you, because me when I was young, let me just say this before Kurt says it starts, when I was young I related to Will more. Now that I'm older, now that I'm going back and watching these programs, I relate a lot more to Uncle Phil, and I relate a lot more to Carlton because now I'm that nerdy kid that I love to study. I love to, I'm going back and studying my degree. I'm more focused, more living more of a responsible lifestyle for many years now. And now I relate to them more. Before I used to think as yes, Carlton was funny, but I was like, he's a corny guy. But now I look back and I was like, you know what? Had I been like Carlton when I was younger, I think I would have had a different life right now. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I'm just saying. I'm blessed. I'm living it. I'm living a wonderful life. But maybe I wouldn't have fallen into stupid things. That's kind of what I'm saying here. I wouldn't have fallen into stupid things I did when I was younger had I been more like Carlton. Now I think that had I been more like Uncle Phil, where he, studied, he had his head on his shoulders, went to Princeton, hard work in school, and he was reaping the benefits of his wonderful career. Kurt, who did you relate to more, or who do you relate to more in that episode? Which characters?
Oh, it was Uncle Phil without a doubt because he was a strong, successful lawyer who ran the type ship at home when Will got in trouble or Carlton or any of the kids act up. He put them in place. He grounded them. He was funny in his own way, but he was no nonsense. So I related to Phil because he was very successful, educated. He had this James Earl Jones. That's a very good actor back in the day. He had that kind of, integrity, professionalism. So I gravitated towards Uncle Phil because I had uncles who were like that, who was very successful. My uncle Lucius from Cincinnati, and my uncle Rayfield from Virginia. They were like that. Stress education and being successful. And my father was about owning something. He believed in owning something. So you know, Uncle Phil was very inspiring when I think about it. That's the character I relate most to.
And when I heard when he passed away, James Avery, back in what 2013, if I'm not mistaken, for some health issues, that really hurt me, man. When I saw that, in the media, I was like, man, James Avery passed away, man. It was honest. It was really sad for me, man. I mean, obviously, it sounds weird. Like, yeah, he's not related to you. He was an actor, and you never met him before. But like I said, this goes deep for me because I relate to these people. I mean, I learned from them, even though it was just a show, comedy, whatever. There were so many things that I could apply in my life from what I learned off of that episode. Uncle Phil being a serious guy, an intelligent man, a career. This is something. Let me check. Let me just say, this is one thing I want to give an example on. Uncle Phil was talking to Will in one of the episodes. I think Will, and I remember clearly, Uncle Phil was like getting some coffee from a water. He was getting water or coffee from a pot in the kitchen, and he was talking to Will. And Will, I think around that time in that part, I think he was.
Renee, can you hear me, Renee? Renee, chat.
Yeah, what's good, family? Can you guys hear me? Internet tripping again, man. Is Kurt here? I don't see Kurt, man. I don't see Kurt. So yeah, let me get back, man. I'm so sorry about that. So sorry about that. There was a little connection problem, and that sometimes happens. So it looks like Kurt had an issue too. I don't know. Okay, so we'll see if Kurt comes back right now. So it's all good. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that. So we're back. We're back. We're back. Okay. So let me get here real quick to the chat, man, because I was saying some stuff and I want to get back to what I was saying real fast, man. So sorry about the connection problem. So it says here, yeah. So LeVar Cooper saying to Cheapo Dad, that's sad that you had to go through that. I just subscribed. Oh, awesome. Thanks for support, man. Yeah, it is sad, man, and that's the thing, man. Those kinds of things unfortunately happen a lot nowadays, and it's just super sad. Bruce Goes talks about here saying that at Kwee. Okay, so that movie is scarier today than it was when it was released. I think you're talking about it, right? So we have here Cheapo Dad saying thank you, awesome. The scene where his dad leaves him high and dry, and Will gets upset, and Uncle Phil consoles him. Yeah, that's the thing, bro. Naeem, bro. That got me to tears, man. I mean, that got me to tears, and it still speaks volumes, and is as impactful as it was back in those days. Now, you know what I'm saying? It's just, it really was. It was an amazing acting. Yeah, so I'm back, man. Thank you guys so much, man. Condo sound went out. Yeah. Hopefully we get Kurt back here. I think also Kurt. I think it was a little issue there. So we got here Kwee saying we can hear you, Kurt. Okay, so I think right here. Let me get real quick to the chat real fast. Okay, so we have LeVar Cooper saying James Avery character Uncle Phil was the father yes, was the father that some people never had in life. Wow, very true, man, very true. And that's why it hurt me when he passed away. It really did hurt me, man. It really did hurt me, man. So I mean, so and back to what I was saying. Hopefully, Kurt gets back on here. I think it's got the connection problem. So that's what me personally. One of the things that I learned a lot from Uncle Phil. Okay, one of the things that I learned from Uncle Phil was this: that when um, when he was back to what I was saying, when he was in the kitchen with Will, okay, when he was in the kitchen with Will, and they were talking about something of some, like I said, I don't remember what it was, but Will responded and said, "That's cold, Uncle Phil. That's kind of cold, Uncle Phil." Because Uncle Phil said something to Will that was kind of like cold, boom. And he said, and then Uncle Phil said this, well, that's the world. The world is cold when you don't have a good job and an education, something like that. And that's one of the things that really stuck to me. And I remember it, man. I remember it in my brain. It's just heart by heart what Uncle Phil responded to Will. And that's one of the many life principles that I have learned from this show. And that's why I say that, this show for me it's deep. It means a lot to me, and where Uncle Phil said that's one of the things, one of the many things, that Uncle Phil said to Will. He said, because Will said, that was cold, Uncle Phil, and Phil said, Uncle Phil said, well, that's the world. The world is cold if you don't have a good job and an education. And it's like, wow, it's so true, man. You know what I'm saying? It seems so basic, but it's very true. Oh, it's all good. It's all good, Naeem. I feel you, bro. We got here. Oh, so it was in Mesa. Okay, okay, okay. Wow, 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 wow. You have to go. Amazing conversation, everyone. Thank you. Oh, awesome. Yeah, Cheapo Dad. Thanks so much, man. Thank you. And y'all go subscribe again. Remember, go subscribe to Cheapo Dad. You can really, really benefit from the content he has there. Really great guy, man. You'll see what I'm talking about. Just go to his channel. You're gonna love his content, man. Really great guy right there, man. My boy right there from back in the day, man, from childhood. Man, I love it, love it, love it. So yeah, man. And another thing, real quick, I don't know if, like I said, if you guys didn't see, I don't know if Kurt's having a little problem with this phone, but it's all good. We'll see if we get back. If you guys didn't see the reunion, because now I want to focus a little bit on the reunion. If you guys didn't see the reunion, The Fresh Prince, the 30th anniversary, it's on HBO Max. And like I said, I don't know if they're going to re-air it. I don't know how they're going to go about doing it, but I'm sure sooner or later you're going to have a chance to watch it. I'm sure sooner or later you guys are going to have a chance to watch it, okay? Please watch it. Please watch it, because now, the way that reunion starts is like this, okay? Oh my gosh. If you guys saw the last episode of Fresh Prince, oh my gosh, that was another moment where I was like so emotional. I was like, oh man, where Will was gonna get an apartment, and Carlton was going to go off to Princeton. Hillary was going to go off to New York with Ashley and her new show opportunity. Well, because of the Hillary show, right? She had the Hillary show at that time. She was a forecaster. Then she went up to being having her own show, which was the Hillary show. And then they got an opportunity to move the Hillary show to New York, something like that. And they were all going to move out to bigger and greater things. Carlton was going to go to Princeton. And Will was like left in the dark. Like he was like left stuck. Like, what am I going to do with my life? And it happened to where in the last episode, he was going to, get an apartment. He was going to get an apartment, and Will felt down because it was like, look at everybody's off to their great lives, their wonderful opportunities and lives. And me, I'm just stuck here. I'm just stuck here, and I don't have anything to do. And I don't, and that was the end of that. That was the last episode. And, they said their farewells. But what I'm trying to get at here is that, I think they sold the mansion, and, the mansion was empty. And, oh my gosh, dude, when Will, he left, they said their goodbyes, to Jeffrey. Jeffrey was going to go back to UK or England or whatever with his son to spend time with his son. And Will was left alone in the living room. And he turned the light off. He turned the living room light off, and he walked away. He gave one last look at the living room. Man, that was just sad, man. That was like, wow. And then he turned the light off and left. And that's when Carlton, he came out. Oh, he went to the bathroom upstairs, like, hey, who turned out the lights? And he went out running. And then, Will turns around and he says, I'm definitely going to miss you, see? And then he just leaves, man. It's like, wow. And then the reunion, you guys have to watch the reunion, the 30th anniversary reunion. The way that it starts, oh man, the way the reunion starts is he goes out of the taxi in the studios where they did Fresh Prince so many years. He went out of the I think Jazz brought him there in the taxi, and he did the same way. He got out of the taxi and looked around, just like in the original episode, man. Oh man. And he entered through the kitchen and turned on the light of the living room that he turned off. Everything in the living room was like originally staged, like the original program. Oh my gosh. And the way the reunion starts, you guys, the way it was produced and directed, it's like, wow. He entered again 30 years later, some odd years, right? Or whatever, how many years it was. All these years later, decades later, an amazing, successful career later, Will enters the living room again and turns the light on, and he looks around, and there's just a quietness, slow motion where he's just looking around. Oh my gosh, dude. It's just like, it's really, really impacting you guys. And then Ashley comes in. I think her name is, what's her original name? Tatiana Ali, I think. Okay. She walks in through the living room and just smiling, a big old smile on her face. And then Hillary comes through the kitchen, and then he looks back, and it's like, oh my gosh, you guys have to see this. You guys really have to see it. Then Jazz comes in, then Jeffrey, and then Carlton, right? Alfonso, he comes in from the top, from where the last episode left off, where he was going to the bathroom. He looks out, he peeks out from upstairs. It's like, guys. And then what happens in the reunion, they all sit down in the living room and talk about memories and how impacting that show Fresh Prince was, man. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the seasons, they talked about. And then there was a part in that reunion where, there was a part in this reunion where they remembered James Avery. Oh my gosh, you guys. And then they start remembering James Avery. And there was a screen in front of them, you guys. There was a big screen where there was a video in remembrance of James Avery, of the clips of him acting. And at the end of that video, you guys, they were all watching it just silently. At the end of that video, they were just all crying, man. Oh my gosh, dude. That's what I'm saying. This was just such an emotional, amazing reunion. You guys have to watch it. They were all crying. They were all crying after it, all of them. And then, Jeffrey, I don't know his real name, right? But Jeffrey started like saying, hey, come on, let's give him a clap. Let's give him an applause. But they kept on, because he wanted to, let's give him an applause for Avery. And they just started clapping a little bit, and they just returned to crying and thinking, just quietly thinking. It's sad. There was an element of sadness to this reunion because James Avery is not there. Uncle Phil wasn't, he didn't survive to be in this amazing reunion where the original cast members, were there after so many years, after so many memories, after so many lives being impacted through this amazing show, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. James Avery wasn't there. It's a sad part. It was a really sad part of this reunion, and then after that, they were just talking, going back and forth on things that they remember and things and how impacting the show was and what truths the show brought out, et cetera, et cetera. And then Will comes with that surprise with what Kurt was talking about a moment ago. It's okay if Kurt can't book. I understand. Maybe it was a problem with his phone or something like that. Something happened with his phone. Sometimes there's problems with his phone, but it's all good. I'm gonna continue here. So then Will comes out with a surprise and says, I talked with Janet, the first Aunt Viv, and then on that screen again, he shows them all on that screen, the interview that he had, the little talk that he had with Janet. And that's another amazing element of this reunion. How Will has the maturity. He's matured, and we can learn from this, you guys. After all these years of things that are misinterpreted between them and the world, audience that used to follow the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, who follow Will after so many years. You guys know the story of Will. How he's such a wonderful guy. How he helps people out, in his private life. How, apart from acting, has done amazing humanitarian, charities and helping the people less fortunate. He, if I'm not mistaken, he sent a donation here in Mexico when there was an earthquake here in Mexico or something along those lines. He sent millions, you guys, of pesos, man. I mean, lots of money, to help here who been affected in certain disasters in Mexico. I don't remember the specific one, but he sent a big donation to help the people here that are less fortunate who suffered I think it was the earthquake back a couple years ago. I don't remember recently. And Will has helped out so many people. He's just he's a really great guy. He did the same with his wife when you guys all saw it, and there have been a bunch of memes, right, made of this in a funny fashion. But he got together with his wife, where his wife was talking about how she had, I guess, an affair or something with some other guy, right? And they talked it over. You guys. I know that's a really sensitive issue. I know that's a very sensitive topic to talk about with your wife or husband or spouse. And that's why there are so many divorces now. These are touchy topics, you guys. And Will, he got with his wife and they talked about it, and they talked about it in a mature manner, in an understanding fashion. I know there are some cases where it's irreparable. It's irreparable. In those cases, sometimes there are marriages where that's not where there's an affair. There's no repairing. It's over. Divorce. I understand it. There are some cases they can't, but Will and his wife in particular, in that case, we can learn a lot from that, generally speaking, where we can be at an odds with people. We can be at a big odds with others. Maybe other people we know, not necessarily just a spouse, right? But generally speaking, relationships, we can have problems with people. We can have big issues where we have been hurt deep down inside, misinterpretations with others, personalities, friction, blah, blah, blah. But we can get together with those people and make amends, reconcile. And that's exactly what Will did. He showed that video, with Janet, and, he showed past the crew, that, we can learn from that. If we have problems with people, you guys, people we knew for years, maybe something happened where there's a difference and, time goes by and it's nudging, it's picking at the back of your conscience. Sometimes it's necessary to go to that person, reach out to that person and make amends with them, man. I mean, Will is an amazing leader. And I saw him in this reunion as a leader of that cast, of the original members of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, showing them, what, me as, a big star of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and a big, star nowadays or what have you. He went back, made a reunion, and he made amends and reconciled with Janet, the first Aunt Viv, man. And, and then she came, after they saw that on the big screen, right? The cast there, they saw that, whole interview between him and Janet, how they reconciled. And then she came, man, you guys, it's just awesome stuff. Then Janet came to the set, just a big moment of reconciling, because Alfonso, who acted as Carlton. You know, he has also said some things about her in other, you know, times past, talking about her. You know, they were all offended of how this whole thing went about, how Janet was, you know, and I understand Janet's point of view too. I'm not saying that, you know, she was wrong. I don't know, but they were all affected. All the cast there were affected by how Janet was, and vice versa. You see what I'm saying? And Janet came on the set. You know, I'm sure it was Will who organized it, the whole reunion. I think it was who directed it. And then he had Janet come on the set out of nowhere, and it surprised them all. And they all just, you know, reunited, hugged each other. There was a big understanding between them all, forgiveness. You know what I'm saying? And quickly, let me get real quick to what Shaquita is saying here. They did a lot better than me. Okay. I'm glad they were able to. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, Quee. I mean, I'm glad they were able to talk it out, and they both received what each other, one moment, guys, and they both received what each other were saying the way they should have, exactly. And I agree. I mean, I'm sure I couldn't do. I'm not sure, man. I don't know myself to that extent, but I don't know if I would be able to do how Will did it. You know what I'm saying? And we can learn from that. You know, we can all learn from how people close to us, if they have offended us, if they have slapped us in the face, figuratively speaking, you know what I'm saying, hurt us in our deep down inside. There sometimes are situations and opportunities where we can do what he did, follow those footsteps, and it really goes a long ways. I mean, you see how they hugged, and then he brought her to the cast. He brought her to the living room there of the show, and all the original cast members hugged her. Amazing reconciliation, amazing, you know, healing of that wound. You know, and I want to close this show off by that. You know, saying that, you know, we can learn so much from this, and I really encourage you guys all, you know, to go back and watch this. If you didn't see the reunion, go back and watch it, please. It's much more than just a show. It's much more than just remembering funny times of Fresh Prince of Bel Air. It's something that we can take and apply in our lives, man. And that's why I definitely want to make this show. I thank so much for Kurt for jumping in, man, and giving us that amazing, you know, insight that he has on the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, man. And you know, the internet cut off and stuff, and probably had problems with his phone or something. But thank you so much, Kurt. You're probably turning right now. Thank you so much, Kurt, for jumping on, man. I gotta get going. I got some things to do right now. But all you guys who jumped in, this is really deep down from me. You know what I'm saying? That this show really meant a lot to me. And I wanted to share it with you guys because you guys are community, you guys are family also. We all can learn from this, you know what I'm saying? And I want to leave this show particularly with that last thought, what Will did with Janet. Amazing stuff. We can learn that. We can learn from that, you know what I'm saying? It's hard to do sometimes. Sometimes, you know, we have to wait for the right timing to do it. But we can all grow from this, you know what I'm saying? And grow from all these things that this show has to offer as far as, you know, Fresh Prince of Bel Air and the reunion. So I thank you guys so much, man. Cheapo Dad, my guy, Naeem from childhood, man. Lavar, all you guys who jumped in a condo, man. Hodges, everybody who jumped in here, I really appreciate you guys. You know, Bruce Ghost, thank you guys so much. Dre Finest, man. All you guys, thank you guys so much for jumping in. Go ahead and share this. Share this with your family. Share it with your loved ones because it's just, you got to go back and watch that reunion, you guys. The objective is to learn. The objective is to learn from this and go watch the reunion. You're gonna learn so much, man. So thank you guys so much. I gotta get going, man. Renee Box Young. We're gonna be going live this week also. You can talk about boxing, definitely, man. And I appreciate each and every one of you guys who tuned in, man. Thank you guys so much. Salute, love, man. All love to you guys. Salute from the South. Stay safe, please, guys, because life is precious. Life is definitely precious, man. So thank you guys so much again for tuning in. I got to get going. Y'all can listen to the replay if you guys didn't tune in. You know what I'm saying? So thank you guys so much. Peace out, fam. Thank you so much again, Kurt. Love you, man. Thanks so much for jumping in. Peace out, fam. Stay safe.